He didn't lose his routine on holiday. He discovered it was never his. It belonged to the house. The villa didn't take his structure. He left it at home because it was never designed to travel. This is Iron Suits, where strength wears a crown. I am Marwan Kilu. If you need me to wrap this in be kind to yourself, you are in the wrong room. This episode is not for the man who enjoys his holiday and keeps his standards intact. It is for the man who uses holiday to explain why his standards disappear. If I am on holiday means the man goes soft, you do not need a break. You needed the excuse. And you're going to hear me saying he in this episode for a reason. Because the distance is a scalpel, or a distance is a scalpel. It lets a man watch the pattern before his ego starts defending it. And if the word he starts sounding too familiar, don't find the pronoun. Little ants. That's usually the moment the episode has found the right man. He said he'll train before breakfast. It is 10:15 a.m. Breakfast is still happening. Villa, terrace. The morning has been running without him for some time now. The sun has moved. The coffee has been refilled twice. The phone has been checked in the way phones get checked when the day has not been given a direction and is quietly finding its own. The training clothes are in the suitcase. He knows they are in the suitcase because he packed them with intention. Good intention. Real intention. The kind of intention that feels like planning when you're doing it and feels like something else when you look at the 10:15 a.m. on the phone and the breakfast that is still on the table. The conversation has already started. Not out loud, internally. It's 1 week. I've earned this. I'll train tomorrow. The gym is probably average anyway. No point in forcing it on the first day. I'm here to be present with the family. All reasonable. That is the problem. His standards do not disappear under pressure. They disappear under reasonable explanations. The gym was noted on arrival. He walked past it yesterday. Saw the equipment through the glass. Thought, that'll do. Not a decision, not a commitment, just the filing of information. Yes, the gym is available. The gym is therefore an option for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is today. He said he'll sort it this afternoon. He said that yesterday. He said he'll train before breakfast. It is 10:15 a.m. Breakfast is still happening. Chair scrapes against the terrace tile. For a second, it looks like the decision has been made. Then someone asks if he wants more coffee. He sits back down. That was a workout. Now, let me describe what happened before this holiday, because the story he tells himself about the routine is specific, and the story is not wrong exactly, but it is incomplete in the way that matters. At home, he trains, not every day. Nobody trains every day, but consistently enough that it counts. Consistently enough that he would describe himself as a man who trains consistently enough that the routine is real in the way that routines feel real when they are reliably present, not pleasant, present, when they are reliably present. Can't get my words out today. He wakes up. The alarm is the alarm he always uses, in the room he always uses, in the house whose floor he knows well enough to navigate before he is fully awake. The gym is downstairs, or at the end of the road, or 15 minutes away. Wherever it is, the route is established. The time is established. The protocol is established. The kitchen has the right food because the kitchen was stocked for the person he is when he is operating normally. The commute structures the morning because the commute is there. The work schedule creates the pressure that makes a morning session non-negotiable. He cannot train at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in November because 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in November has meetings. And so the training happens before the meetings because that is when the window exists. He goes, he trains, he returns. He rates himself as a man with a training standard. He is a man with a training habit. More precisely, he had borrowed structure, borrowed from the house, borrowed from the alarm, borrowed from the stocked kitchen, borrowed from the Tuesday morning call, borrowed from pressure. Then Holiday removed the lenders. The standard and the habitat produce the same behavior. He confused them for the same thing. He told himself it was the holiday. It was the first test of whether the system was real. Here is a distinction. A standard travels. A routine asks for permission. That is the difference. One walks through the airport with him. The other waits at home besides the alarm clock. Take the habitat away, remove the familiar alarm, the known route, the stocked kitchen, the Tuesday morning pressure of the 9 a.m. call that functions as a deadline, and the outputs stop. Not because he's undisciplined, because the discipline was environmental. And Holiday does not expose this through one missed workout. It exposes it quietly. Shirt stays on near the pool. Photos become chest up. The towel stays over the shoulder longer than it needs to. He laughs a little louder at lunch because something in him knows the standard has already started negotiating. His wife does not need to say anything. She has seen this version before. First morning, I'll train after breakfast. Second morning, we're leaving soon anyway. Third morning, no point forcing it now. Nobody confronts him. The standard just quietly leaves the holiday, and that is the part that pisses men off. Because I know it is true. He has managed 3 acquisitions across 4 time zones this year. He cannot manage his morning in a villa with a pool and a gym. He can move capital before breakfast. He can move a team across markets. He can move an entire business around a problem. But he cannot move an entire, but he cannot move himself 30 meters across a villa to the gym. This is a contrast worth sitting with. He runs external complexity with genuine competence. Teams in different locations, deals across jurisdictions, capital allocation under pressure, clients who cannot be given anything less than precision. And all of it continues to function when he travels because he built business systems that travel. He applied that intelligence everywhere except the one domain that requires it most. He runs distributed complexity across 4 time zones. He cannot run himself once. The home routine was doing work he was not accounting for. The environment was attributing it. The environment was providing discipline he was attributing to himself. Home made the standard easy enough to mistake for identity. And this isn't about one missed workout. Missing one session means nothing. Watching the standard become negotiable the moment the environment stops enforcing it, that means something. The problem is not that he skipped the gym. The problem is that he watched himself negotiate with the exact weakness he tells himself he does not have. And the negotiation sounded fucking reasonable. Now, the furniture. His home routine is furniture. Not literally, it is a set of behaviors, not objects. But it functions the way furniture functions. It works in the space it was built for. It serves its purpose in that specific configuration of room and environment and habit, and it is not designed to travel. Furniture does not walk itself to the villa. He arrived on holiday and the discipline did not follow. Not because it abandoned him, because it was never built into him. It was built into the house. He thought he had discipline. He had borrowed structure. He thought it was a standard. It was furniture. The structure did not disappear on holiday. It was never built into the man. A system that only works in the environment it was built for is not a system. It is furniture. He is aware of this at some level, not in these words, not with this clarity. He has not sat on the terrace at 10:15 a.m. and thought, I have been borrowing structure from my environment. He has sought something adjacent. It's harder here. The routine isn't the same. I'll get back on track when I'm home. All of which are true, and all of which translate to the container is not here, and without the container, the standard does not function. I'll get back into it when I'm home. He will. That is likely true. He will go home, and the alarm will be in the right room, and the gym will be where it always is, and the Tuesday morning call will do its work, and the routine will resume because the container will have resumed. He will return to the furniture and call it returning to discipline. The villa morning at 10:15 a.m. is a test, not a scheduled one, not a test he agreed to take, but a test nevertheless. The way every departure from the known environment is a test of whether what lives in that environment belongs to the environment or belongs to the man. The test result is on the table. next to the half-finished coffee. The gym is available. He knows it is available. He noted it on arrival. The equipment is adequate. He established this when he walked past it. When he walked past it yesterday, assessed it through the glass, concluded, that'll do. The gym is there. The morning is there. The time is there. The standard is not there, because the standard was never portable. It was always located in the house, in the habitat, in the specific configuration of the environment and pressure that produced the outputs he mistook for a standard. He called it discipline. It was furniture. The holiday separated them. He was sorted this afternoon. He said that yesterday. And this afternoon became yesterday's evening, which became today's late breakfast, which will become this afternoon. The sentence, I'll sort it this afternoon, is not a plan. It is a rhythm. The rhythm of a man whose system has no portable anchor and is filing the vacancy with the most comfortable deferred intention available. This afternoon is where holiday standards go to die. Gradually, one this afternoon at a time, until the holiday is over and the suitcase is repacked and the training clothes come home in the same condition they left. And he tells himself he'll reset properly now that the structure is back. For 6 days, he becomes the man he normally thinks he is above. Vague intentions, soft mornings, food without command, movement if convenient, explanations intelligent enough to avoid shame. Average, just in a better villa. The structure will be back. The question he is not asking, the question this episode is asking on his behalf, is why the structure has to come back at all. Why it did not travel. Why it only exists in one address. Why what he calls a standard requires its original room to function. A man who can only hold the standard at home does not have a standard. He has a room. The villa didn't break the system. The villa revealed the system had never been built into the man. This is why fragile routines do not work for men with serious lives. A fragile routine needs the same kitchen, the same gym, the same morning, the same week. But serious men do not live inside perfect weeks. They travel, they host, they negotiate, they take the family away. They lose the clean calendar. So the system has to be built for disruption from the beginning. Not patched together after the first villa breakfast logs the evidence. And if you're listening to this thinking, yeah, but holiday is different, that's a point. Different is where standards prove themselves. Familiar is where the weak ones hide. The flight did not take his discipline. The villa did not take his routine. The breakfast did not take his standard. It simply removed the furniture. And for the first time in a while, he had to stand without it. The body is the receipt. This is Iron Suits, where strength wears a crown. I'll see you on the next episode.